Hello, I'm Chanik Jeon, Deputy Director of the Government Properties Coordination Division of the Ministry of Economy and Finance. Today, I will talk about the mid and long-term policy directions for state property. In my presentation, I will briefly explain the current state of state property and policy directions, and then proceed in the order of explaining major policy directions related to state property. First, the current status of state property. The value of state property stands at 1,337 trillion won as of the end of fiscal year 2021. Of which land and buildings account for more than half. Among these state property, administrative properties that are used for administrative purpose, such as the government office, are managed by each line ministry, while general properties without a special purpose are managed by Ministry of Economy and Finance as a governing office. Next are policy goals and policy directions. The state property policy goal of the Ministry of Economy and Finance is to build a virtuous cycle of the private sector-led economy through active use of state property. In order to achieve this goal, we set 4 policy directions. State property in active use by private sector, co-development of state property with the private sector, use of state property in support of national policies, and value growth through management system innovation. Now, I will tell you about the major policy tasks for state property that have materialized these policy directions. In this meeting, I will briefly explain the 3 policy tasks for each direction. First, I will explain 3 tasks related to state properties that are actively used by the private sector. They are revitalization of sale, conducting a consensus, and institutional improvement. In the case of revitalization of the sale of state property, the main idea is to increase the annual sales volume of about 2 trillion won to 3.2 trillion won, and to improve the system to increase the convenience of stakeholders engaged in the sale. It is expected that this will increase the utilization of state property by the private sector. At the same time, we plan to conduct a census of state property to find usable assets. In addition, the existing system improvement text will be continuously promoted while we will not spare effort to advance the current status by holding a site meeting. Next is the development of state property with the private sector. In this regard, I will explain system. Facilitation of private sector participation in state property development and pilot improvement. Number 1, institutional improvement for active private sector participation. Number 2, basic plan for long-term financing established for pilot implementation. Number 3, government property data disclosure improved to promote unsolicited projects. We are also planning to actively promote land development projects that increase the value of state property by developing idle land. Currently, the project is underway to develop the site of the Busan Botanical Garden and the abandoned Ulsan Dokwa State, which are currently underutilized land. In addition, we plan to discover and promote various development projects, such as development through collaboration with local government and community-friendly development projects that take advantage of regional characteristics. Third is the use of state property to support national policy. In this regard, I've set 3 tasks: contribution to housing supply using state property, youth entrepreneurship, support for farmers and fishermen, and support for 2050 carbon neutrality strategy. In the case of housing supply using state property, the main idea is to provide public housing using state lending, housing for young, supply of all in one space, and provision of multi-purpose building for the elderly. Lastly, property value increase through management system innovation. In this regard, I will explain the improvement of the state property management system, the resolution of build spots in the management of state property, and the systemization of the state property management system. In the case of reorganization of the state property management system, the main contents include resolving shared occupancy between the local and central government where the owners of land and building are different, and unification of management of cultural assets and establishment of governance of state property. In addition, the government plans to eliminate the blind spots in the management of state property by resolving the discrepancy between the register and the land ledger, promoting the registration of unregistered state property, and preparing a manual for state property. In the case of special cases concerning the management of state property, which includes free loan, long-term use permission, and free fish farming of state-owned property, the operation criteria for the special sunset system will be prepared to evaluate the feasibility of the special treatment when its expiration date arrives. Staff in charge of managing special cases will be given a training. By doing so, we are trying to systemize the management of state property. This is all I have for today. Thank you for listening.